Peace and blessings. It's Thursday, October the 25th, the year 2018. This video is about Christopher James Moltz. He spent over 21 years in prison. And it was for talking about a robbery. He did not kill anybody. He did not intend anybody to be killed. And he did not tell anybody to kill anybody. But yet he is serving life without parole. Let me say this, anytime that I advocate for prisoners, there's a group of anonymous devilish hyenas that come out of the woodwork and they start attacking the prisoner and they attack me. It's fine to attack me, I'm free to attack back, but let me just say this, if I was living my life and I saw that somebody was serving life without parole, and I saw that there was a group of people, including the family, advocating for that man, I wouldn't spend any time slandering that man or trying to derail their efforts. I would just go about, I mean, what is it to me if somebody is fighting their case and trying to obtain their freedom and to get justice, right? And so I have an entire pack of devilish hyenas that show up anonymously. They don't give their real name. And they just say a bunch of terrible things about the prisoners that I advocate for. And they try to paint them in the worst light possible. And I can't tell you the low opinion I have of such people. I mean, they are really the lowest of the low, the scum of the humankind. The Bible refers to them as accusers of the brethren, the scoffers, the mockers. But let me read to you a letter I wrote to Christopher Moltz, and I want to read to you his reply back. I said, "Peace, Chris. As I mentioned before, anytime I advocate for a prisoner, they send devils to my channel to promote the government narrative. Below is what your devil put in the comment section. I don't expect you to respond unless you want to, but anytime a prisoner talks about injustice in the system and begins to fight for their freedom, you should expect it to be a vicious fight. If you're going to expose the criminal justice system as satanic, and you're going to hold judges and lawyers accountable, and you want the lawyers and the judges to go to jail, you better expect that there's going to be a fight on your hands. They're not just going to go to jail, right? They're going to try to derail your efforts. Let me also say this. If you're allowed to go into a CMU prison and visit people in CMU prisons, but they won't allow me to even communicate with CMU prisons, what does that tell you? Does that tell you that the people that supposedly are working for the good guys, maybe they're given special privileges because they're COINTELPRO or they're what's called double agents? Anyway, we win that fight by sticking with the truth, being consistent and not compromising. Daniel chapter 3/16 is the best answer to tyranny I have ever seen. The 3 Hebrew boys told the king they will not bow down to his satanic crap. Anyways, below is what the devil is posting below your videos that I make for you. And then there's a guy by the name of Native Born Citizen. He's always defending the government narrative. He sounds like he's employed by the Southern Poverty Law Center. He likes the system, and he hates anything white. If you're white, he thinks you should shut up and sit down and not complain about anything. He just wants to promote the fact that minorities have a hard time with the system, but you white people, you should shut up because white people can't have any complaints at all about the justice system. But anyway, Christopher, here's what he wrote, Native Born Citizen. He said, he is in prison for goodness sakes. What's that mean, Native Born Citizen? Just because you're in prison, does that mean that you're automatically guilty? They crucified Jesus, and you claim to be a Christian yourself, which I highly doubt. But just because Jesus is on a cross, does that mean he's guilty? I don't understand the point of that comment. He is in prison for goodness sakes. The Bible says a time will come when they will call evil good and good evil. And so I believe a lot of our best Christians are in prison and wearing orange jumpsuits. Christopher James Moltz appeals his conviction for murder, robbery, and conspiracy to commit robbery. Moltz may claim he was not there, but that is not what happened according to the witnesses, and the jury did not believe him. Why Rudy believes that Moltz was not there is rather strange. How about I believe he is not there because he wasn't there? That's why I believe he wasn't there. Moltz was hardly innocent, and if someone was killed during the crime, our laws hold everyone involved guilty. When acting in concert, all participants may be held accountable for incidental crimes committed by another participant during the enterprise, even though not originally or specifically designed. If you saw the movie The Sentence, the girlfriend of a drug dealer got sentenced to 15 years in prison, and everybody agreed it was too lengthy of a sentence, and nobody's arguing that Christopher Moltz is innocent. Even Christopher Moltz doesn't say that he's innocent, but he says that the crime should fit the time. The prison is full of innocent people. That's right. That's exactly what I believe. He was lucky that he got life more than the victim. So, native-born citizen likes to say that these prisoners should spend life in prison without parole, even though Christopher Moltz was only 19 years old or 20 years old at the time. He did not kill anybody. He wasn't even there during the robbery. He talked about a robbery. Let's read what Christopher James Moltz had to say, because he did reply, and I want you guys to see it. Now, what kind of man slanders a prisoner who's serving life without parole, who's fighting to be back with his family and fighting for his freedom? See, it's one thing when two men get into a vicious argument on the outside, but what kind of low-life, cowardly, anonymous scum just inundates the YouTube channel with negative comments about every prisoner that I advocate for? Native-born citizen, you are a scum of the earth. Here's what Christopher Moltz replied with. Hello, Mr. Davis. Of course I wasn't there when the robbery and murder happened. As the person writing that email said, witnesses were there. Everyone knows I was not there when the crime happened. Okay, everyone knows it. It's not disputed. Even in trial, it came out that Christopher James Moltz was not there when the crime happened. He did not participate in the actual presence of the robbery. I never said I didn't talk about the robbery. I'm saying that a cop got shot and killed in Mosby Court in Richmond, Virginia about a year ago. The man that killed the cop got sentenced last week to 34 years. I've served 21 years for talking about a robbery. He's doing life without parole. Everything else is in my full transcripts. The court knows I wasn't there. They saying accessory before the fact. Okay, the punishment should meet the crime, and my crime was talking about a robbery. In a non-Commonwealth state, I would have only served a 3-year conspiracy term. Anyway, Mr. Davis, please, he would have only served a 3-year term. He's now serving his 21st year on a life without parole, and he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there when the guy got killed. Anyway, Mr. Davis, please respond to that person with my words. I am not a killer or psychopath. I'm a human being that made a mistake as an adolescent. I've learned from that mistake, and I've served my time. Did you know that if the crime would have happened 2 years earlier, I would be home already on parole? Needless to say, that's not my case. I'm here fighting for a chance to prove I have changed and I am not that adolescent anymore. I'm 41 years old. I've been in prison longer than I've been a free man. I've been in prison longer than I've been a free man. I think of the Michael Jackson every single day. I know his family is hurting and in pain every day. What if you had an opportunity to stop that pain? Would you stop it? Okay, well, my family is in pain also, and people out there can stop their pain. I did not rob or kill anyone. I don't know what else to say. I talked about a robbery. I was wrong for that, and have spent the last 21 years paying for that mistake. But I do not deserve to die in prison, just like the man that shot that cop and only has to do 34 years in prison. Change my sentence to 34 years. I'll take that, and I'll be 53 years old and still have some life left to prove to society I have changed. Thank you, Rudy. So this man, Christopher James Moltz, okay, he's going to die in prison. You guys understand that? His family misses him. You guys understand what's going on? Hold on, I can't get this thing to work right. There we go. There we go. This man right here. Okay, the sentencing in America is way too out of whack. Christopher James Moltz should not be serving life in prison without parole for talking about a robbery. Do you understand? He was an adolescent. I don't know how you got... I got a phone call and I'm going to have to answer it. I pray that you write Christopher James Moltz a letter, encourage him, let him know that you care about him and love him. Thank you for your time.